So today I'm enacting an annual ritual that I perform in August. And what I do as part of this annual ritual, not this ancient ritual, I just travel to the western end of the Central Line and then I just walk west from there until, well, I was going to say until dark. I mean, originally when I wasn't shooting video, I would carry on through the dark until I would get the last train. And I didn't do it. I don't think I've done it for like the last 2 or 3 years. And that's what I've got the urge to do today. Even though, and actually I've got to say I'm setting out late, but I usually always did set out a bit too late. Domestic things get in the way. Today I was mucking around with cameras and kit and all that kind of stuff. And also I've mixed it up today. I haven't travelled to the end of the Central Line. I've travelled way out west on the Elizabeth line, the new Elizabeth line, now going out west. I got the Reading train and I got off at Iver. Obviously I could have carried all the way on to Reading, but I basically fancied walking through some of the open ground, the open space west from here, so I could still mimic in a way that ritual of going from the Central Line. I've gone a bit beyond the Central Line, but not so far. So a bit of a magical mystery tour. Who knows what's out there? Just entering Iver Village. I think that means we're now in Buckinghamshire, and Iver is famous for being the home of Pinewood Studios, the famous Pinewood Studios. I mean, the films that were shot at Pinewood is ridiculous. I mean, Star Wars is probably the favourite, but I mean, everything's been shot at Pinewood. Anything worth watching. And the vague plan that I have is to walk a bit of the Colne Valley Way. We could walk along the Grand Union Canal for a bit, but I don't really fancy that today, so it's a necessary bit of early road walking to get the journey going into the Buckinghamshire heartlands. Who knows where we'll end up though. And the Grand Union Canal down there is looking quite tempting, isn't it? Lovely illuminated waterway that would lead me quite quickly into Slough, or Slough as we used to call it for a joke when I was a kid. Bit of a Slough-Wycombe rivalry going on in my childhood. And I don't know, and that's not what I have in mind. I'm going to head in a different direction. I'm going to head sort of northish really. So here we go, Beaches Way. I think that's the first part of this walk. In fact, a lot of the path that I follow today may be the Beaches Way actually, but it becomes the Colne Valley Way for a section. So that's a good sign. We've got a footpath sign and we've got the great Bucks County Council logo there. Iver Village is mentioned in the Domesday Book, but it has pre-Domesday origins. They found Neolithic pottery here. Horse and cart going through the village right on time as to talk about the history. So it's a very ancient settlement, and in fact there was a significant battle that took place not far from here, a place called Thorney on the River Colne, or near the River Colne, when Edward the son, or future King of England, son of Alfred the Great. In fact, I think Edward is really the first King of England. He routed the Vikings with his West Saxon feud, and they chased the Vikings in this direction, and there was a final defence made by the Vikings somewhere near here. These little kind of local history boards are really great, and this one here has a photograph of the Garibaldi pub, which is great, isn't it? It's taken in 1900. Garibaldi was a big figure in Britain for some reason. He did, obviously, as I've mentioned in previous videos, spent some time in London. I guess he was in the popular consciousness. But what I thought was interesting here is it says that it's rumoured that the timbers salvaged from ships that fought in the Battle of Trafalgar were used in the construction of the pub. Isn't that great? I think the pub is no longer there. So this is great. This is the footpath that will take me away from the road and towards Iver Heath and Stoke Common probably. And I mean, I have researched it on the map. Old-time viewers of the channel will know I used to do a lot more of this type of walk where I just head off randomly and make it up as I go along. And now, oh, what do you reckon? Some blackberries. Oh, they're really good. I do love a blackberry. Hopefully we'll get plenty. Oh, so where was I? Yeah, I used to do this kind of thing a lot more. And I guess the kind of more central London, more research-based videos kind of slightly taken over, not completely, but a little bit. I don't do this sort of thing as much as I used to. You know, but it's good to do it every now and again. It keeps you fresh. So we've come out into a very quiet housing estate, not unlike the one that I grew up on actually. Looks like it was built as a council estate, but I reckon it's probably all privately owned now. And the footpath heads off from here, continuing west. That was the wrong footpath. The correct one is just the other side of this school. Made a silly error. And here we go. I think this is the correct footpath, and there's a nice little sign here that says work on this footpath was recently carried out by our volunteers. Why not join us? There you go, Iver and District Countryside Association, taking care of this path, doing great work. It's so beautiful to emerge from the houses and from the footpath into this open space here. It's kind of what I came out here for today. I needed a bit of countryside out on the western edge of London. This is perfect. We're at a delightful little place here called Love Green, would you believe? What a beautiful name. And here we have the signage for the Colne Valley Trail. And the path carries on down here. How delightful. And of course the advantage of starting out quite late in the day, to be honest. I mean, didn't really get going until about 4:30. Now it's probably about an hour, it's probably about 5:15 now. But the thing is, I just walk, all of the walk is in the best light of the day. This is always my favourite part of a walk, as many of you know from previous videos were in the summer, where I am really walking all day in the summer just to get to the last sort of 3 hours of light, which is just golden, beautiful. So silver linings and all that, it just means it's all glorious, all of it. It's actually nearly 6 o'clock, so I quite miscalculated the time. It says about 2.5 hours at most of usable daylight. Bellswood Lane now. Such wonderful names on this walk. Still on the Colne Valley Trail, coming up to 6:20. We're about to hit the Uxbridge Road, and then I may have a decision or two to make, but it looks likely I'm going to be heading in the direction of Gerrard's Cross. So I'm saying that so you know if I get lost and go wrong. Just as I thought we were entering the woods, the Colne Valley Trail turns this way, alongside the edge of the wood. It's going to be great wherever we go. Looks like there's an apple orchard there. A fruit farm was signposted. There's a glorious smell actually, really lovely smell. I think here is looking across Langley Park. A beautiful spot. I don't think anyone in the UK would claim that we've had a particularly good summer. My wife, who's Australian, kind of almost feels like we haven't had a summer. We had a little bit of nice weather in June and July, but it's not been great, as we haven't had a sustained period of really lovely, hot, sunny weather. Beautiful today though, and I'm really enjoying it. But you know what, like these last days of August, these last weeks, into early September are often my favourite weeks of the year, of the summer, because it's just, the smells are great and the light is golden and it's not too intense and burny, and it's just great. I love it, and that's when I usually do this walk. As I mentioned, there's something running across that field. It is just a dog. I thought it was a deer, but it's beautiful. I love it. I really, really love it. The last days of summer. It's the last weeks of summer, isn't it? Last days of summer is a little bit of an exaggeration. Last weeks of summer. And this is a lovely Colne Valley Trail totem here. What's that figure at the top? Is it a stag? I think it is a stag, isn't it? A very pagan looking totem pole here. So we're now going to pass through Langley Park. I love the guy who designed the house, and I think the house dates from 1603. I don't know if we're going to get a clearer view of it than this. 1603, but designed by Stiff Ledbetter. What a name. And the grounds were done by Capability Brown. So it's got some proper heritage to it. A grand old pile you can see from this distance. I don't know how close we're going to get. We'll pass by the lake, which is down this path here. That seems symbolic somehow of my walks. More blackberries here. They are absolutely delicious. Going rogue ever so slightly, leaving, I think we left the Colne Valley way up here, but we can reconnect to it on the other side of this park, I think. But we get nearer to the house, which I believe now is a hotel. Here's the lake, landscaped by the famous Capability Brown. Now we've got a really good view of the house, which it seems is now a luxury hotel. I wonder how much a night there costs. Could be a nice little treat, couldn't it? A little break with me and Heidi. Langley Park Hotel, we'll make a video if you give us a night for free, with dinner and spa treatments. By the time I publish this video, a wonderful kind of collaboration I did with Young's Beer will be on their Instagram account. I think it's on the Young's Beer Instagram account, not the Young's Pubs. Really, really lovely thing to be part of. Young's for London. And they go around photographing, like I say, sort of, Londoners that they feel play a role in the life of the city. So there'll be some great characters, and it's episodic. So if you go and follow the Young's Beer Instagram account, you'll see these people on there, and I'm one of them. It was great. I met them down at the Bunch of Grapes at Borough Market at lunchtime. They bought me a lovely pint of Young's Special in a special new glass, which I've kept. And it was a really lovely thing to do. So yeah, go and check their Instagram out, Young's Beer, and I'll try and find a link. But if not, Instagram, Young's Beer. Some nice photographs of me having a pint. So apparently the Arboretum is this way. Have I pronounced that correctly? I reckon so. If not, I think it's Latin, so I'm not going to feel any shame over that. There are some amazing trees here. I don't know what they are. There's some sort of pine, I would say. Some serious green parakeet action around here. There is some serious green parakeet action. These trees are amazing. If you know what they are, I'd love to hear in the comments. Some sort of pine, aren't they? Look at this one. The trunk is amazing. It's about 20 past 7 now, and an hour till sunset. Real golden hour now. Okay, so we have left Langley Park onto the Uxbridge Road. The question is where to from here. So I'm hoping that we can go up that driveway there into Black Park Country Park, and then that will take us up to dark, and then we'll be looking for the road lights, I guess. Problem is, I'll be looking for a break in this traffic. Actually, it's just coming up. I've just said that, I think. Maybe not. I think this might be all right. This isn't the footpath, but it's a drive that leads to a place called Go Ape, which is like an activity centre, I think. So hopefully we'll pick the footpath up. Otherwise we've got to go all the way around the edge. So I just started to look up Black Park on my phone. This is an unplanned walk, so I didn't know I was coming here. So just looking up thinking, I wonder what Black Park is. My internet isn't very good, but what does come up is a James Bond classic tour. So given its proximity to Pinewood, they must have filmed some James Bond here. In reality, these streets and lanes around here, these parks, villages have been in so many films. But a James Bond classic tour, I mean, wow. So I was very helpfully given some information by a gentleman who comes here all the time. I think the best thing is for me to come back to Black Park another day, because I think I won't look how big I'm down here. Look how big it is with those footpaths. If I can't get out onto the road, there's no way I'll make my way through here. So I think what I'm going to do is take this path here, and at least I can get onto that road up to Fulmer. Look at this beautiful lakeside cafe here, sort of like a log cabin cafe. It's nearly 8 o'clock, so obviously it's shut, but I think definitely got to come back and do a proper Black Park, Pinewood Studios Black Park video, right? So I think my best option now actually is to go back to the Elizabeth line, to walk to Slough and get the Elizabeth line from Slough. It does mean I've got to walk along this little road here without any footpath, but that takes me to the Uxbridge Road. So this will make it a true Elizabeth line walk. It's not an insubstantial distance back to Slough. It's about 3 miles, just over 3 miles, if I don't get lost. But it's not all like this little track here. It's not like we're balancing on the grass verge. The Uxbridge Road is like a normal, I think it's an A road. In fact, I think the Uxbridge Road might be quite an old road originally. So, yeah. It's all part of the joy of these unplanned walks, and I do like the idea. They're filming in there behind me. I don't know what they're filming. They'll probably tell me to sod off. But you can always tell when they're filming because you see the little orange signs that have a location. But then you see the location services, the food. That's what everyone's here for. They're not here for the work, they're not here for the money, they're here for the food. This could get tiresome having to stand every time a car goes past. It's what it is. So we have arrived at the Uxbridge Road, and I now have another 3 miles of this. I guess I could walk in the Central Reservation, couldn't I? I guess why not? Do you know what I'm tempted to do instead, and what I think I'm going to do is take this footpath here to Wexham Park Hospital, by which time it'll be dark and I can go down the road to Slough. How about that? Yeah. I didn't want to give up. Oh my God, the cows are running away. I didn't want to give up the last of the sunset walking along that road. If I'm going to road walk, I'll do it in the dark, and this offers a bit of field walking for not very far, but it's probably a slightly longer route into Slough Station, but look, it's across fields into the sun. Yay! Well, that was a bit deceptive. There was the path snaking away across the field in that direction, but I thought, well, that's the wrong way. The lake is there. The map shows the path going around the lake. And there's another path on this side of the field heading back this way. So I'm on the right path now. Would have been a bad mistake. Now I'm walking into the sunset. Wow. That's why I took this route, to walk into that sunset. What a glorious reward for embracing adventure. The footpath is not exactly as it is marked on the map, so there is the potential for this to, to go slightly wrong. But it's so beautiful to be here anyway. I can always go back in the dark to the road. So there's a deer there running across the field. Just notice, there it goes. Oh wow. Even though this is the direction of the footpath, on the map it runs through that field there on the side of the hedge, then cuts all just a straight line through to Wexham Park. This doesn't look like it's I mean, I can get across here, but it doesn't look like it's the footpath, does it? But what can I do? Now I just go across this field and hope I can get out on the other side. This is the line of the original footpath. They've probably changed it by the looks of it, but the other side of that distant tree line is where I come out to the hospital. It wouldn't be one of my countryside rambles if this didn't happen at some point, would it? Where I didn't get lost, lose the footpath, get trapped in a field, I lose the light. I mean, I'm actually almost following the script of these walks that I do around the edges of London. This is almost pre-told, isn't it? Foretold, I should say. It's good, and I wanted I didn't want the boredom of just trudging along the Uxbridge Road for 3 miles. And this is not bored. I could get to the other side of this field and find there's no way out. That's happened to me before. When a farmer starts doing that stuff, blocking footpaths, redirecting them, there's often a reason. This is a beautiful, wide expanse though. Not a usual kind of farmer's field. I guess it must be used for hay, I suppose. There's lots of grass all cut. So the moment of truth is approaching in that hedge line. I had this scenario about 2 years ago, didn't I? Actually, it's probably the last time I did, when I couldn't get out of a field and it got dark. I eventually got out, but I think there was a bit of clambering involved. There is no way through, but I think I can step over the barbed wire here. And now I can see what's on the side. It's like I think that's a lane. I think I can walk down there. Oh, that's a golf course. Wish me luck. That was quite hair-raising. I had to kind of hold that barbed wire fence down, hoping it didn't spring up and catch the underside of my legs. The problem with wearing shorts, but it's brought me into this lane. So I can follow this down to Wexham Park. And there's Wexham Park Golf Course through there, where I played many years ago. This is one of those great old footpaths, one of those old lanes you find in the countryside. It's just it's been here for hundreds of years, if not longer. Probably an old boundary. Isn't it great? This has been a walk of adventures, it really has. Okay, so quite a long way away from where I thought it was is the footpath that comes out, and I guess this is where it carries on the other side. I do feel slightly foolish, but I don't know where. I mean, if the map was quite clear. Yeah, and here it continues on the other side. This doesn't look like a new footpath. Well, this looks like the original footpath. So I apologise to that farmer, because it looks like it was my mistake somehow. And my OS map must be very old. That is intriguing, because the line of the OS map, even I could find it, and it goes straight across that field and around the bottom of the pond. It's quite unequivocal, and then it's just straight on. Clearly it doesn't. Even that field, when I detoured into that field, I must have had to have carried on much further down south and then across. There you go, just goes to show. And now I'm on a paved road, which I didn't think I would be on a paved road, but there you go. Just keep going. What an amazing walk it's been. I can't tell you how good it makes me feel doing walks like this. That is Wexham Park Hospital, just through there. And we are out onto Wexham Park Road. And now a road walk to Slough, but less of a road walk, I think. And we've had that beautiful sunset adventure. So it's about 1.8 miles to Slough Station, which isn't too far. But I don't think there's a pub on the way, which is a real shame. So I now turn down the brilliantly named Shaggy Calf Lane, and that gets me close to Slough Station. There's a little bit of magic in the air tonight around the edge of Slough. As I say, there's wood smoke in the air. I can hear Slough Towner at home somewhere, and I realise now I missed Wycombe Wanderers versus Leyton Orient at Adams Park. So here it is, Slough Station. It's probably my train down there, but the Elizabeth line is so frequent, I'm not that worried, to be honest with you. I guess this is the end of the walk. So my train will be here in about 4 minutes. Take me right through to Whitechapel from Slough, which is mad. Then I just change at Whitechapel and go through to Stratford, which is the genius of the Elizabeth line. It's fantastic, and this has been a real Elizabeth line adventure. It's been amazing. The Elizabeth line, I think, is worth. Let's do more Elizabeth line adventures. So as I always like to say, I look forward to seeing you on the next walk, wherever that may be. We didn't see this coming, did we?